video demo of myself and someone I taught how to play this game. We're going to play against each other. I've beaten him, he's beaten me, but as you see, we're setting up together. He is the Angels of Resistance, seen at the bottom of the screen, and you'll see me in my hands at the top of the screen, playing Redeem the Night side. We're just shuffling the deck now to get ready to play. So my opponent is quite exceptional at this game now. He's gotten really, really good. So good that he's defeated me plenty of times. So we're going to play one more time together. And he has chosen the first card, and it is a Spark card. He chose Michael Muriel to fight Mary Dyer, and I have no shot. So he takes that card. But now I've chosen the villain card for him, and the villain easily defeated his opponent. So the game is already underway. That was a Shadowland card. Silver cards go into the Shadowland. Looks like I got the Fire Sword, which Arl Balin can wield. So that upgrades his power from 3 to 5. Those yellow circles are power points. Looks like I'm fighting one of my villains. It's red. The card is red in the inside, and the red stands for Redeem the Night. And I easily defeated that villain. I had 5, and my villain only had 3, so higher power points wins. You can see I stole a card that my opponent would have used because I drew it, so I get to keep it in my spoils. There's an upgrade for Arl Balin again, so he's getting really strong, and I was looking really good at this point, but that did not last very long. He got a Spark card. He's going to fight me again. Michael Muriel versus Gideon, and there's really no chance. That card was primary character dies if defeated, so he killed me. You turn the card over in death if your character dies. He stole another card of mine, and I got the redemption card. So what happens there is if I lost to a villain and I want to try again, I can play that card and try to fight a villain from the Shadowland. This villain's a piece of cake. He only has 3. I have, what is that, 5, 7, so I defeated him pretty simply. Let's see. Oh, I have the Blessed Armor. That makes me invulnerable to magic, so Mary Dyer is now 3, and magic can't hurt her. Unfortunately, this guy, my opponent, got a cash guard, which prevents me from stealing spoils. So I used the steal card just to get rid of it. So the Shadowland is cards that we can share, or cards that where villains have been defeated. You could put them in there. Any cards that are silver would go into the Shadowland, as you see right there. But you can play those cards during battles, which is what my opponent is figuring out if he can do, and he is. He's going to make sure Gwendolyn is going to fly against me, but what he forgot is I'm wearing the Blessed Armor, which protects me from magic. So since she's a magical character, the only thing that hurts me is the fact that she can fly, which is really only 2. So looks like I'm winning so far. Let's see if he has any plans for me. He's trying. He's looking for anything he can get, but there's nothing to defeat me at this point. And I win. Alright, so if you win, you take the villain card you defeat and any cards that were used in the battle. I stole another card from him. That would have been for Predella. That was my upgrade, but Gideon is dead, so that just went into the upside down position. Oh, great. Another villain for me. Easy for me to defeat. That was a joke. So things were looking good. Don't get too excited, it's not going to last long. Let's see. Ah, he resurrected one of his characters, and this is when the game changes. That was a lucky draw. The medical chest can resurrect a character, and Michael Muriel on that side is the best character you could see. But in this case, oh, it looks like he resurrected Maxim, actually. Yeah, I see now. Lucky guy. All right, what do I get? Oh, I got another character. Idenessa's a decent character, but she's not strong unless you get power-ups for her. Shadowland is getting all messy. I got another character to add to my team. Looks like he upgraded a character himself, so it looks pretty balanced at this point. I stole another card from him. I'll show you the part where the whole thing starts to unravel for me. But the point of the game is to get as many cards as you can. And those white numbers on the cards, those are the value of the cards. And that's what you count at the very end. The white numbers on each card. That shows the value of how much you have, and the higher number wins, essentially. But you can't count cards that are upside down, and you can't count cards that you're holding in your hand that you haven't used yet. So you can only count the cards right there in the front lines and in your spoils section. That's the final battle if we get to it. Another flight card that allows us to fly, or a character, if a character can fly, he can. Another upgrade I stole from him. Wow, things were looking so good. Oh, he has another cash guard that prevents me from stealing. I got another upgrade from Mary Dyer, so what is she? 2, 4, 7. Oh, now he steals something from me. See, that's a steal card. So if you get a steal card, you can steal a card from your opponent's spoils section. And as you see, my opponent played the steal card. I don't have a cash guard that prevents him from stealing anything from me. So he's going to have his way and take whatever card he thinks is the most valuable. Could be a power-up, could be an upgrade. Oh, I don't know what he took. Maybe this is the turning point. Oh, I got a little medical chest myself, which I use on Gideon to get her back in the game. She was my only magical character, so I needed her. And now, oh, here's where it all goes crazy. So he unlocks the Demon Lord. When you get all 3 cards, you have to fight this villain, and it's his villain. You see the purple inside the card, that's his side. On the red inside, he's the purple inside, but on the outside, it's red, meaning he's a villain, and that is the most difficult villain that you must face in this game. But here's the incredible thing. My opponent has one special card called the Rally card, and that allows every single character on his front lines to fight this Demon Lord at the same time. So I play the Demon, so the Demon Lord can summon a demon, so I play that to try to beat him. He's counting the yellow power points to see if he's up, and I start flying. So that puts me in a little advantage. I don't think it puts me up by much. I think I just tied against him. Yeah, now I'm beating him. Right, so everything is looking really good. I'm flying. Looks like I can take it. He's coming up with an idea. What do I do? What can I do? Well, it turns out, you see, you could look in the Shadowland to see if there's any cards that you can play to give you an advantage. And what happens here is, it looks like I'm winning. And what happens is, we look at the cards again, and you got to count those power points. You got to count those yellow balls there. That shows the power. Whoever has more of those power points in the battle wins the battle. And I'm thinking I'm winning, but then we count up the power points again, as you see me doing, I'm like, wait a minute, something isn't right. And I'm thinking he's going to beat me. So he plays the critical strike card that puts him over on me. I'm saying, uh-oh, is that all he needed? I'm counting up the cards in distress. He's going to beat this guy. I think he just figured out that he beat me. Oh, yeah. Wow. That was the moment. That was the moment that broke the game. The fact that he was able to defeat the Demon Lord with his army that depleted all the cards in the Shadowland, all the flying cards, the demon cards. And the fact that he defeated the Demon Lord is incredible because if you look on the cards, it shows the number 10 in the white number. That's the value of those cards. So if you defeat the Demon Lord, his wing is 10, his right wing is 10, and the body itself in the middle is 10. So that's 30, plus all the cards used in the battle he gets to take. So right now, no doubt about it, he's winning because he has cards with the most value. So now I'm going to fight him and win, but who cares at this point? I'm really losing now because he's got a lot more cards than I do. So really, it's about following the instructions on the cards, um, looking at the color of the cards. This is a character, if you defeat him, you can get him. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the turning point for me where I start to lose. So I'm going to try to defeat this man. I use Arl Balin because he's invulnerable to magic. And Infernos, that guy there, if you beat him, you get him. And he's magic, so I figure I'm on top. But my opponent summons the lava dragon, and now I'm in a little bit of trouble, and then he summons the werewolves, and I think I can still do this. But when you count up cards, you realize, oh, this might not work out. And I think I'm starting to realize that now. But I really want to get this character. So I play Stronger Together, which allows me. Oh, no, not Stronger Together. That looks like magic and muscle. So I play Gideon to help her fight, but unfortunately, he plays the other werewolf card. So now I'm fighting dragons and werewolves, and he just has too many power points, and he defeats both me and Gideon. I count up all the yellow power points, and there's just not enough. That's me figuring out, my God, what have I done? I should have just left well enough alone. And yeah, I thought I had a shot, but that card there is tripled against males. So instead of one power point, it's actually three. Um, but I don't think that helped me. I'm still fighting against 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Forget about it. So he did a great job in defeating me there. I should have been more prepared. I should have known defeating him wouldn't be so easy because the Shadowland had all these cards that villain was able to play. So the point is, when you're fighting a villain, your opponent essentially becomes the villain. And he or she is going to do everything in their power to stop you. And of course, I lose. I have to give up my fire sword. You don't get to keep your items or artifacts. And the primary character died, and that's my best character. So Infernos goes into the Shadowland because I couldn't defeat him, but my opponent gets to take all the cards used in the battle. So I am really, really losing now. He's got a lot more cards than I do. And that's when I realized this was it. And he gets another spark card, and I said, dude, just take it. You're going to beat me up. Just go for it. Let's see what my response is here. Am I actually going to try to fight and win this one? Nope, I lost. Oh, gosh. Oh, this was good. It's amazing. I created this game You'd think I'd know all the tricks, but when your opponent knows all the tricks and they're really good at strategy, they will employ them against you. So, Gideon used her necromancy card from the Shadowland to resurrect Arl Balin, so he's back. I was feeling pretty good about that, but watch what happens this time. I'm about to fight Kira Kanem, one of my villains. So my opponent is going to try to defeat me, and I believe I'm going to use Mary Dyer against him. That's right. I figure Mary Dyer has most of the power here. 2, 4, 6, 7 power points. But he pulls a pretty great trick on me here. So whenever you're fighting someone with a villain, always look in the Shadowland. There could be a card you can use, and that's look at me looking at it like God save me. That is a card that steals an upgrade of mine, and he chooses an upgrade to steal, and the villain gets to play this upgrade against me, and that's all he needed. And he does. So now the villain is 4, 5, 6 against what? 2, 5. So he beats me just by 1 point. Oh man. That's it. She's dead. And she has to give up that blessed armor. Oh my gosh. No wonder I got slammed in this game. And you know what? It isn't just strategy. It's also a luck of the draw. So he got a lot of good lucky draws too. But I made some careless mistakes. I was prideful and I thought I could beat some villains where I should have probably just bowed out and saved my cards for later, for bigger battles coming ahead. But looks like Kira Kanem is back, and he's going to fight me again. My opponent is well versed in the art of villainy. He knows um, what villains to use against what characters. So if you pick your opponent's villain, you get to fight your opponent with the villain, and you get to choose your victim. So if you pick the villain that's yours, you get to choose what hero fights the villain. But if your opponent picks your villain, he gets to decide who the villain is going to fight. So picking the card is the most important part of the game. You can see he defeated Eric Orgento, the sorcerer. If you beat him, you get him. And he easily beat him. I had nothing from the Shadowland I can use to stop him. This is another Spar battle card, which is 2 against 1. And I said, dude, just take it. It's no point. And now, since I'm still alive, we're both still alive, it's the war card. So if one side is defeated, you start counting up the cards right away. But if the deck is depleted and you're still alive, it's time to fight the final battle, which is an endless battle until one side is the victor. And I'm deciding to use my redemption card, which allows me to fight a villain I lost to. I fought Infernos and won, but that didn't do much for me, really. There weren't many cards in the Shadowland that I could have used for him. So as you'll see, this war is going to play out. I'm going to fight Eric Orgento. I have invulnerability to magic, so I could easily beat him. But he uses the magic and muscle card, and he puts in a warrior to fight me. And I don't think I was able to defeat Maxim. Nope, I died. So that was a genius strategy. He knew he couldn't defeat me with the magical character, so he used a card to pull in a warrior and defeated me. So now it was his turn to choose who he wants to fight against me. He's made his choice, and let's see, I think he fights Infernos. Yes, and there was nothing really I could do. Let me see if I had any options. Right now I was looking through my hand, and I found nothing, so I had to turn my card over in death. Oh boy. Oh, this was the beginning of the end. So I'm going to fight now. It's my turn to pick who I want to fight. I'm choosing Gideon to fight Eric Argento, knowing that third card there, that second card is tripled against men, so it's really 6 against 5. But he uses, believe it or not, another magic and muscle card, which brings in a physical character. And Maxim, yet again, cuts me down. There I go. Oh, it's hopeless. And I have one character left, and what the heck is he going to do? He's a goner. I lose, and there's no point in counting up the cards. There's just no point. Um, I'm clearly going to lose if you count up everything. So I really hope you enjoyed this demo commentary. I'll do a lot more of these. Hopefully I get to win one of these things. But yeah, I'll be doing more demos on how to play the exciting Redeem the Resistance card game. This was played with a professional, so it was pretty fast-paced. The professional being my opponent, who was a young kid. Go figure.